Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I am super excited for today's session. Today, we're going to be unpacking the Agency Concierge Implementation Workshop, right? If you've been tracking along with us, you've been seeing some of the videos we've been putting out on the opportunity to have a concierge, to follow up with your leads, to generate better results. You've kind of looked at the money math and kind of the profit plan that we recorded. And today, really, we want to kind of fill in the gaps. We want to answer your questions, and we want to really unpack this for you the rest of the way. So, Chris, without further ado, I'm going to hand this off to you and let you run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey everybody, I'm Chris, and I am super excited to get to the Q&A portion of today's presentation, because even though we've had comments on the videos, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me with DMs, and there's some really great models out there. I've talked to people that are in the dentist niche, the chiropractor niche, all kinds of really interesting business models to apply this to. And so I'm really looking forward to brainstorming on how you can implement this in your agency. So I do have a prepared presentation. I'm going to go through it relatively quickly, but I just want you to know that you can stop me at any time and ask a question if something's unclear, or you can ask it in the comment section. And then my goal is to get us to the Q&A as fast as we can, so we can maybe do some hot seats and really help out with your particular agency in getting this model implemented. So let's get to it. So this is what I call the Agency Concierge. And it was funny because after we did the podcast with Josh, I went back and I had our team go through the financials. And what we discovered is that we had actually created an additional $1 million, $1,040,023 in extra revenue and $849,648 in profit, which if you look at the margin of our digital marketing agency, it's the highest margin product that we sell. And what it does is it creates better results for our clients. It's increased our stick rate, so our clients are staying with us longer, reduced our cancellations, and doubled our sales closing ratio, which I'm really looking forward to sharing with you here today, how we did that and how the concierge helps with that. So the little bit of backstory behind how we got to implementing a concierge in our agency was we originally got started as an SEO agency in the mortgage niche. So we were getting mortgage professionals, loan officers on the front page of Google back when it was the 7-pack, now the 3-pack, and we would do SEO. Then we added on Google services, got really good at that. Then Facebook ads, Instagram ads. So now we're doing websites, Facebook ads, Google ads, and I was getting very frustrated because our constant feedback from our clients were the leads weren't good enough. We're not talking to enough of the leads. We're not converting the leads. And so one day I ended up, just out of frustration, getting on the phone, going into the CRM and saying, I'm just going to call leads today. I wiped my schedule clean and I just started calling leads. And there was really good leads coming in, having great conversations with people. And so I set off and said, okay, I'm going to take over this part of the business. And what I was really trying to do is get a better product for our clients. Like, how can I get my clients to stick with me longer and increase retention by having them make more money off of the program? And then what I discovered is that we almost immediately increased our sales and our profit, because now myself and my sales team, we could get on the phone and say, yes, we'll generate leads through Facebook because that's what you want, but we're also going to put the leads into a CRM, do the emails, the text messages, the ringless voicemails, but we're also going to call all of your leads. And I'll tell you how that evolved into an even more valuable product, but it immediately helped us close more deals. So we actually increased our closing ratio. I've got stats on today's presentation. Over a year, we actually doubled our sales just by adding the concierge portion to our additional services that we were already offering. And so it's actually increased our sales and increased our profit. And it's allowed me to actually work less, because now we have concierge agents that are actually doing the work, and it's very easy to deliver. So typically on our SEO services, before I had a person to run that part of the company for me, I constantly had to stay up on SEO and what was happening and the latest techniques, and as part of why we're part of Seven Figure Agency, because we just wanted to know what worked. But I was keeping up on Facebook ads, I was keeping up on Google ads, keeping up on SEO. It can be exhausting. Concierge, we get a list of people, they have a proven script, and they call them. There's nothing I have to keep up on. Like, the phone is still a phone. It's super easy to implement. So it ended up in us working less. And what I discovered is that in our agency, what we had figured out how to do is actually solve the largest problem that our clients have. Because if you look at us in the lead generation game, we're essentially climbing a mountain in our agencies. And when we get to the pinnacle of what it is that we do, and the Facebook leads are rocking, the Google ads are rocking, they're on the front page of Google, they're getting calls, they're getting all these leads. So we feel like, hey, we're successful, we're doing our job, we've got leads coming in. Well, the business owner is climbing their own mountain. Your clients are climbing their own mountain. They're, in the case of a plumber or an electrician, they're doing the plumbing, they're doing the actual work of their trade, and they don't see inbound leads as a benefit. They don't, oftentimes they actually see it as a nuisance, like, oh, there's more of these internet leads that I need to follow up on. And so what we discovered is that by putting a concierge in place and taking our leads from just being a lead to actually being a booked appointment in their calendar, we were solving the largest problem, which is our customers are not good at lead conversion. I shouldn't expect a loan officer to be able to take a cold internet lead and turn it into an appointment. They're not an appointment setter. And that nuance right there is key to making this whole thing work in your agency. Because there's actually a subset of people out there, and they're not closers and they're not marketers. They sit in the middle. They're concierge agents. Many of them call themselves appointment setters, but they have built careers just booking appointments. Oftentimes they've got history working for airlines or hotels or other major corporations that are doing outbound cold calling just to book appointments to get sales presentations. And when I started hiring those people specifically, running job ads specifically for appointment setters in our local marketplace, so we're not outsourcing to third-party companies. I've invested over 6 figures in outsourcing and trying to find other companies that can do this work for us. It never worked out. I don't want to belabor that point, but we've tried the Philippines, we've tried India, we tried multiple countries, we tried multiple outsourcing agencies, we tried outsourcing it here in the United States. And I found that if I can just find a professional appointment setter that's local to my marketplace, they outperform everybody else. And I get to bring them in-house, and that way I can train them. They're based on our scripts. And what that does is it provides a phenomenal experience to the client. It also helps us make more sales, because one of the first objections that you're going to get when you start selling the concierge to people is they'll say, are these North American-based dialers? It's the number one question that we get asked as soon as we transition to the pitch, because people don't want to entrust their leads and their business to a third party that's overseas. So all of that helps us fill the gap and really build this true value and giving our clients what they want. They want more business and more sales. So once we installed the concierge and we filled in this gap, we got higher clients. We instantly started generating better results. Our average is that we doubled the amount of appointments that were being generated from the online leads that we were generating for our clients. So I could immediately take a client who was buying Facebook or Google ads from us, and they might be experiencing, like, they would get 100 leads and they might book 10 sales appointments. Now we were booking somewhere in the range of 20 to 25 sales appointments for them. No additional ad spend, no additional effort on our part, same amount of leads, but almost double the response of the actual leads themselves. So they get better results. And we ended up generating more money because the client stayed with us longer. They would invest in more leads because they were getting a better result for it. And it just was best for everybody. And that's why I love this model so much. Now, we implemented that and it was absolutely phenomenal. And then I had a client come to me who was actually a good friend of mine. And he came to me and said, Chris, I'm going away on vacation. And in the mortgage business, there's 3 ways to grow a business. And this is pretty much across the board for almost all businesses. You get business from your past customers, you get business from your referral partners, and then you get business from marketing and advertising. And he came to me and he said, you guys are crushing it with my concierge. I'm absolutely loving this program, but I get the majority of my business from my past customers and realtors, lawyers, and financial planners. When I'm gone for the month, I don't want my pipeline for my team to dry up. Can your concierge start calling my past clients? And of course, being an entrepreneur that I am and an agency owner, I said, yeah, of course we can do that. You know, how, like, you set the price, we'll do it for you, we'll see if it works, right? That was our arrangement. Changed my life, changed our business, changed everything. Because what we realized is that when you tap into their past clients, you're actually solving the largest pain point that they have. Because every single business owner understands that if they were to call their past clients and they were to give them a solid offer, they would do more business, but none of them have the time nor the self-discipline to actually pick up the phone and call their past clients. Then when we got into referral partners, that was another massive game changer for us. So we started calling realtors, and a concierge agent, and I'll give you the numbers here in just a second, but a concierge agent makes around 100 to 150 calls a day. Right now, on average, our concierge agents that are calling out to a qualified list of realtors will book 5 appointments a day for one of our mortgage professionals. They can't keep up. They can't handle that amount of appointments. They have to back it down to 1 or 2 appointments a day. But when a realtor sends them business, they can get 4 deals a year, 6 deals a year. Sometimes they're getting a referral a month from a realtor. So what we've done is we've created exponential results with better quality leads from setting up these referral relationships. And each of you in your agencies have these type of relationships. Like one of the gentlemen that was in the comments was asking about orthodontists. Well, a very good friend of mine is an orthodontist, and he gets all of his business from dentist referrals. So it's very easy to set up a concierge agent that's calling his past clients that to offer all of the, auxiliary services that they can offer, like tooth whitening and stuff like that. But calling dentists and booking him networking appointments with dentists, if you could book 30 appointments a month for an orthodontist with dentists that can potentially refer him business, how much is that worth to the orthodontist? So that result totally transforms what you're doing in your agency from, hey, we generate Facebook and Google leads, to now it's full service and you can totally change the game for their business. So you solve their number one problem. It's an easy model because when you get into these other areas of business, sorry, just 1 second.
Give us a one in the comments if you're following along. I think his computer.
Yeah, sorry, I just had a little glitch there. So the one thing that I'll say to that is the model is incredibly easy because, again, if you think about the algorithm changes and the pixel problems that we're having on trying to show how many leads we're generating for our clients through Facebook ads, this is quite simply, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you've been helping you with your digital marketing services. Give us a list of your past clients. You load them into Go High Level, and then you call them with your concierge and you get results. It's very easy to implement, but it produces a far better result for the client at the end of the day when they say, how many clients did I get from my agency this month? And that creates incredible stick because now you're the one that's producing profit for them, okay? So then what happened in our agency was what we're now calling the Ascension Model, which I stumbled upon. But what ended up happening is we got one loan officer that we absolutely were crushing it for. He told his branch manager about what was happening. The branch manager came in and said, hey, Chris, I've got 3 offices. I'm going to try this system out. And if you guys rock it like you're doing with this other loan officer in our company, I'm going to put it in all 3 of my offices. We said, great, no problem. We went, concierge worked. Majority of the results came from calling their past clients and calling their referral partners and calling the leads that they were already buying from other vendors. So that's super important because in your niche, you're competing against other digital marketing agencies, and they may be buying leads from other digital marketing agencies. You can say to them, hey, that's fine. If they're working and they're good leads, we're happy to work them. We'll just generate you double the opportunities from them because nobody's calling the leads right now. So you can go in with an entirely new model of we're going to call your leads from whatever source they come from, and you can install a chat widget on their website, work those leads, all the wonderful opportunities that High Level gives you, and you're calling their past clients, and you're calling their referral partners. And that's truly where the money is coming from in the model, is from the past clients and the referral partners and converting more of the leads that they already have. So we had success there. That then led to the national manager of sales coming to us and saying, you guys are doing great. I want to bring you on a webinar with all of the branch managers that we have in my district or my region, which was roughly, I think, 50 people. You're going to get on a webinar, explain what this is, bring the testimonials from people that are in our organization, and you can pitch to them. So all of a sudden, we've got a pre-sold sales opportunity with 50 potential sales on a webinar, and unbeknownst to me, the CEO of the company watched the webinar, enjoyed it so much, he brought us in, and we now have staffed a concierge team in their organization. They pay me a retainer that is a 5-figure monthly retainer that I get every month, and we've been able to negotiate inside our consulting agreement that I get compensated on every deal that comes from the work that our concierge department does. And we've taken over the calling of all of the leads for the entire organization. We call all their past clients. We're calling into every single marketplace to book them referral appointments. And we're calling to the new leads that are generated through all the corporate marketing. So what you can do with this service is walk along this ascension path. And I want you to think about your agency and the niche that you're in. What opportunities do you have to take an individual customer and get them to tell 4 or 5 other people that are just outside of their marketable area? Like when you go in and you crush it for, let's just call it a home services guy. He's part of an association. Most of them have to be part of an association. We have a template that goes out when we produce their results for them every month. Hey, could you introduce me to 4 other people in your niche that you know that would benefit from services like this? And you just start your expansion like that. Then you get to franchise deals, and then you get to the actual corporate deals. And so every step along the way, you get more and more profitable as you launch your systems out. So before I move to the next step here, can I get just a little bit of feedback? Does that make sense? Is everybody with me so far? Cool. I'm seeing.
I think so. There's been some good questions, and I definitely am like making note of these so we can answer them for you guys, because I think they're very practical, and we're going to get to Q&A as quickly as possible. I think the bottom line here, Chris, and really what I love about this model is everyone on this call, we're agencies, right? We're in the business of making it rain for our clients. Right? Whether that's websites, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, we're making it rain for the clients. Everybody can do that. Like literally anybody can do that. The disconnect happens when the client gets our leads and they can't convert those leads into sales, and they look at us and they're like, either like sometimes they're like, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know, it's all right. And they're happy enough to stay, but they're not like, wow, you've revolutionized my business. You've really given me an exponential increase. I think that's what we all want, right? We want transformational results for the clients. And so what Chris found in his agency was, rather than just being like, hey, well, I gave you the lead, it's up to you to take it from there. Says, well, if that's where the disconnect is, why don't I put callers on the back end of this? Why don't I solve that problem for you? And in doing so is how he was able to get the transformational results for the clients. And by doing that, he gets more referrals. He's a lot more sticky with the client, right? He's making it rain, not just generating leads. So just give me one of the comments if that resonates and if that's super clear for everybody. Awesome. Go ahead, Chris. I didn't want to take you off your rhythm there.
No, it's all good. So yes, so let's keep going. And So here's the actual business model. So yes, our concierge agent is booking appointments for our clients, right? So whatever clients it is that you have, this person is working to book sales appointments in their calendar. So the way that we have that set up, we use High Level to deliver this entire service. We integrate our calendar with their calendar. And so we're just able to pop appointments right into their calendar. So each concierge that you hire in your agency makes between 100 and 150 calls a day. Each concierge books between 5 and 10 sales appointments per day. So that means that your client is experiencing anywhere from 25 to 50 new sales opportunities a week. And some of them are past client referrals. Some of them are networking opportunities for them to get with a referral partner. And a lot of them are conversions of the actual online leads that they're getting in their business or that you're generating for them. Now, I've been through, off the top of my head, countless variations of how we sell this product to find what was best for our client, but was also best for the profitability in our agency. And we've come down to this model. We charge $750 per 200 phone calls. So that's not connected phone calls. That's 200 outbound phone calls that we're making on behalf of the client. And the reason why is because if you do the math at 100 to 150 calls a day, that means that each concierge agent can call for up to 11 customers per concierge. Now, keep in mind, these are packages of calls. And many clients will come to us and say, okay, Chris, I actually want 800 calls a month. Okay, great. So you're going to buy 4 packages. That's going to be $3,000 a month. And we're going to make those 800 calls for you, right? So what I've done is I've built my profit margins into the product itself, because how I first ran this program was I discovered that I could call my online leads and book the appointments at a far greater rate than my clients could. So I started selling appointments in the mortgage industry. And so we were selling refinance appointments for like $75, and we were selling actual purchase appointments as well. But it was so stressful because I was then on the hook for, if my Facebook ad account blew up and all of a sudden my cost per lead went crazy, I was on the hook to deliver the appointments and my margins completely disappeared. Same thing with the Google ads. So we literally ran over $250,000 in paid ads on that model to figure out that our margins were just ridiculously thin. So we switched to this model where the profit margin is baked in. They can buy as many packages as they want. And that's all based on how many past clients they have, how many referral partners they want to network with, and how many leads they're generating each month. But my profit margin is always built into the product. So each concierge agent that you hire in your agency under this model brings in $8,250 in revenue and produces $5,650 in profit per concierge agent that you hire in your business. We're at the point now with our hiring system, we can hire a team member and get them up and on the phones in less than 2 weeks. And we had an agent that started yesterday was their first day on the phones. And they've been with us for 9 days because we had a long weekend in there, and they booked 4 appointments on their first day, just using the scripts, using the system. And so they're up and running. So again, you can get these people up and scaled very quickly. Now, the benefits to you are that you become unique almost overnight in your industry. So if you're competing against other people that are selling digital marketing services in your niche, all of a sudden you've got an offer that's far more valuable than anybody else in the industry. And even if they're offering some type of CRM, your unique ability is say, well, they'll put them into a CRM, but will they call them for you? And if they are potentially, and I have yet to run into this in our niche, but people that will actually call the leads, we say, well, will they call your past customers? And will they call your referral partners? And the answer is no. We're 100% unique in our industry. And the value of what we're selling is exponentially more than anybody that we compete against. Again, because every customer that you talk to understands that if they were to call their past clients, they would make more money, but none of them are actually doing the work. So you become instantly more unique in the niche. Then you bolt on more profit, because every single one of these services typically has higher margins than a lot of the other products that we typically sell in a digital marketing agency, and you're providing more value to the client. Arguably, you're also providing more value to yourself, because it's easier to deliver, it's less stress, and it's actually more fun because you have less customer service issues and the clients are happier with your service. So you spend less time actually doing customer service with them, because when they're making money every month and they can see the deals that they're closing from the appointments that you're booking for them, they leave you alone. They're not constantly asking you to send them reports on what's happening with their Facebook account and all of that wonderful stuff that we have to do in the agency. So I just wanted to unpack that as the opportunity for your clients. But one of the largest transformations for us in our agency was how the concierge changed our business. So this is our last 3 webinars that we ran to promote our company. So our company is called Connection Incorporated, and these are our webinar stats. So February 15th, we ran a webinar that had 121 people registered. February 20th, 142 registrants, and March 17th, we had 313 registrants. So out of 576 total registrants, we had 144 attendees, right? Low attendee rate. And on those webinars that we're running, we closed 7 sales, which is roughly 5%. So of the people that were on, we closed 5% of them. Now, my concierge agent calls every single lead that comes in from one of our webinars, and that comes in from, we're giving away a free report. We've got multiple funnels. Every time a lead comes in, they get a phone call from my concierge who's in my agency. Well, we booked an additional 25 sales appointments from those people that registered for those webinars, and we made 9 additional sales, which is 6.25%, which is more than double the sales that we made from actually running the webinars. We doubled our sales just by getting somebody to call the leads that we generated to get them on a sales presentation to actually close them, because people don't have time to go through the full sales presentation and go through the whole thing. So instantly, when you bolt a concierge into your agency, you get more sales calls. You should technically double the amount of people that you're talking to every month and giving sales presentations to, without any additional leads and without it spending any additional money, right? Every lead creates double the opportunity for you when you have a concierge behind it. You can literally double the profitability from your webinars. Your leads and the sales appointments that you have to spend your time doing, or that your salespeople do, they're better quality, because the concierge is trained to vet the people before they get on the phone. So the newbies, the people that don't have the budget, the people that are never going to buy anything from you anyway, they don't get through the filter. So when you get to a sales presentation, you know that this person is vetted. They already have a rough idea why they're showing up on the call. More of them show up on the call, and they're already pre-vetted, so you close more sales. And then it saves your time, because you can actually spend less time marketing, because you can get more from what you've already got in your agency right now. Now, that's just what happened with our webinar. Let's take a look at our actual sales numbers. So these are our sales stats from the last year. This is an entire year of our agency's sales numbers. So last year, we generated 757 sales consultations, and we made 143 sales over the phone. So that's somebody who booked a sales presentation with us, showed up, and bought right on the call. We closed 19% of our sales. Now, look at this. Consults sold with follow-up. So that is a concierge agent on the phone following up with the person after we gave them a sales presentation. We made an additional 208 sales last year because the concierge followed up and continued to work that lead into a sale. That's, well, I mean, from 143 sales to 208, we more than doubled the amount of customers that we brought into our agency last year, because we've got one dedicated concierge person following up on the sales presentations that we have already done. So that generates more profit for us right away because our only cost is the concierge agent. We've already paid for the marketing. We've already generated the lead. We've already done the sales presentation. All of that money has already been spent. We're just collecting profit when we bring that person into the business. It's less effort because I don't have to chase my sales presentations anymore, and neither do any of our sales members. And we get better clients because it's very common for somebody to buy concierge services from us or any of our other digital marketing services because they say, you know what, it's been 3 months and you guys are still following up with me. If you can do this professional of a job, following up on my past customers and following up on my referral partners, I'm going to crush it. I've decided to come with you. We even have people that come back. There's this 90-day window that we've discovered in our agency where the person will come in and they'll have some shiny object that they went out and bought, like Facebook ads from another company or whatever it is. And they'll be in that service, unhappy with it 60 days down the road, and they will stop that service and come back to us after 90 days. And we would not get those sales if our concierge wasn't following up on them. So ultimately, what we're doing here is we're getting better results for our clients by offering concierge services that turn their leads into more appointments for them. So you instantly make all of the leads that your agency generates worth more because you're booking them into actual sales appointments and booking far more of them into sales appointments than your clients are on their own. You're opening up new opportunities for leads and profit for your customers by converting their past clients and referral partners for them. So this is a brand new blue ocean strategy where you get to provide more value to those clients. You become totally unique as an agency in your particular niche, and you attract better, higher paying customers. That's another thing that we experienced that was amazing because once we started advertising that we had concierge services, the client that we attracted into our agency totally changed because the person that's attracted to the offer of will convert the leads that you already have or will convert your past clients, they're mature businesses. They already have more leads than they know what to do with. They're not shopping for Facebook ads. They're not shopping for Google ads. They're shopping for the problem of, I've got more opportunity than I know what to do with. I need somebody to help me with my larger business, right? So that person comes to us and we no longer have to have the conversation like, am I going to close the deal in 30 days? Otherwise I can't pay my second month's invoice. Like we don't get those clients through this funnel. They show up, they have the budget, they want to scale large scale, and they're just easier to work with. You know, those higher ticket clients, they're less customer service issues, all those wonderful things that come along with it. The other thing that we've benefited from is retaining our clients for longer. It's increased our reputation in the industry that we're no longer just an online lead generation company. We actually produce results for our clients, and that helps us walk up that Ascension model. And it's doubled our sales opportunities and increased our closing ratio. So it's, in my opinion, again, like I said, it's changed my life and it's been a phenomenal model. So Josh, any feedback on that? Does that make sense to everybody as to how this service all works?
Yeah, I think it's clear. There's lots of good questions. I know people, and I've been taking these questions down, so we're going to get to them as we go. I think bottom line, right, as agency owners, we know we want to convert and we know that we want to differentiate. And I think this is exactly what this model does for us. It helps us generate those better, more tangible results and differentiate ourselves in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. And so through this whole experience and working behind the scenes with Josh on him, picking my brain and teasing apart all this stuff and us working through the thing, we've come together with an offer that I've put together. And if it's okay with everybody here, if I could just get a quick nod and just let me know that it's okay to move forward, I would just like to tell you a little bit about it.
Give me a one if you think, I think, conceptually, we even me, I get the idea. Yeah, I want to put a call on the back end of this. I can do it on a high level. There's a snapshot you can run. You can bill for it and be profitable and make money for the clients. But, there's gaps that have to be figured in, right? And if you've already built it, I want to capitalize on it. I want to use that instead of trying to figure this out all on my own. So one, if you're okay with Chris explaining kind of how you can shortcut this process and get access to his stuff. Lots of ones. We have permission, Chris, for you to dive into this.
Cool. You can tell I'm originally a Canadian. That's the most politest way to transition to here's what I've got. So what I did was I went through and I took everything that we do to deliver the concierge service and I put it into a 5-module program. It's 5 modules because that's what it took in order to get everything together. And then I also have some bonuses for you where we've taken all of our assets inside High Level, turned them into a snapshot, and then made that available for people that join the program. So you can literally just take our concierge service and just import it into your High Level account, watch the videos on how to customize the campaigns from our industry to your industry, and you're off and running super quick. So the first module that we're going to walk through, and these are live trainings that we're going to do together just for people that get in during us opening this. This is outlining the entire Agency Concierge business model and showing you all the different pieces that we run in our agency. So how do we hire the people? How do we compensate the people? How do we motivate them and train them every day and get them on scripts? And again, I've got something really cool where I'm bad at keeping things behind the curtain. I'm actually opening up my daily team call. So our concierge agents are on the phone once a day during a training call, and I'm going to allow you to have your concierge on my training call. We're going to train your people for you every single day, where we're going to help them customize their scripts, learn how to overcome objections. Our concierge team and myself are actually going to train the concierge that you bring into your agency. So you don't have to worry about managing the people every day. You just have to bring them on as an asset and we'll help manage them for you. So in the roadmap, we give you all the building blocks of exactly what it is so that you understand it and you know how to implement it in your agency. Then in module 2, I give you our hiring system. And this is quite literally every resource that we use in our agency to hire our professional appointment setters. So I'm giving you the job ads that we run, where we run them, how we've got an automated system that sends emails out to people once they apply for the position, how we vet them. There's 23 questions that we ask on a job interview. We give you all of the questions and what answers you're looking for and why. Our compensation plan and sample contracts to bring that person on to your agency. Quite literally everything that we've built over the last 2 years in implementing this system. So that's going to help you understand the model, hire the people, and then I'm giving you our selling system. And this is showing you the call scripts that we book appointments, our cold email outreach sequences that we're using to generate new leads through cold email outreach. I'm giving you our Facebook ads that we run, our Google ads that we run, our landing page for lead generation, and our online sales presentation. And I'm also giving you our consultative sales process, which I believe in itself is worth the whole value of the program, because we do our sales presentations through a consultative close method where we have a checklist and we're literally going through with the client and asking them diagnostic questions about their business that shows them how much opportunity they're leaving on the table and then how the concierge actually solves that problem. So everything that we do to actually bring in clients and sell the system is in module number 3. And then module number 4 is how we deliver the product. So this gives you the campaigns and the training so that you and your concierge both understand the model and can actually deliver it to the clients successfully so that you're successfully delivering the client. You have happy clients that stick longer, that are generating better results. Then in module number 5, I give you our management system. And this is everything that you need to manage your concierge agents and to create those happy clients and that more profitable service. So quite literally how I manage my people, the tracking spreadsheets that we use, the check-in sequence at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, the sheets that we're tracking, how we track them inside High Level. And then we're also giving you, again, like I mentioned, a special bonus where I will train your people for you every single day. So quite literally, I'm walking you through all 5 modules live, and we're starting next Thursday, I believe. Not next Thursday, the Thursday after that, class starts. And I'm literally going to walk you through. in formats just like this, where at the end of me showing you how to do everything, you get live Q&A with me, and I stick around for as long as you need to make sure that you have everything. And it's designed so that every week you implement a new portion of the model. So in 5 weeks, you're up, you're running, and you've already generated sales. So there's a weekly mastermind call that we get where after the 5 weeks of training, we're on the phone every week in a Zoom, helping you run the model in your business and really masterminding. I'm giving you a daily training call so that you can send your concierge agents to our actual staff event where we're training concierge agents, which is, I believe, incredible, because it took me forever to figure out that a daily huddle was really important and that you actually have to be on the phone. And the thing that I love about it most is that I put the numbers up on the board for every single concierge agent that's on the call. So everybody knows how many calls everybody's making, how many people they're talking to, and how many appointments they're booking every single day. So if you want to get a high performance concierge, put them in a room with 25 other concierge agents and have them all compete to see who books the most appointments in one day, right? And that is also a learning hive where somebody will come with an objection and we all get to work on overcoming that objection. And some of these concierge agents have been professional salespeople that book appointments for 20, 25 years. So the collective knowledge base in there is just absolutely incredible. So then for us as agency owners, we also have a private Facebook community where you get daily access to Josh and myself, and then all of my swipe files that we have for the whole thing. So the investment in this program is $4,997 upfront. That's a one-time fee. And then after that, it's $1,497 a month to be a part of the mastermind. Now, there's no annual contract to this. You can quite literally cancel at any time. And I've got more information here in just a second about some bonuses and some other things that we have for you. But I really want to, if it was me, I would want to do the math, because I'm a nerd by nature and I try and make decisions based on math because the numbers don't lie. For me, it takes the emotion out of everything to determine what I'm going to invest in and why. That's how I made the decision to join Seven Figure Agency, which was just, for me, when I did I was emotional about it, but then when I did the math, I was like, okay, well, I can't not do this, right? So what I want you to do right now is pull out a scrap piece of paper, right? Just grab a book or whatever it is, and just walk through this little exercise with me. So how many customers do you have in your agency right now? And just, some of you will know that number right away. Some of you might have to do a little bit of napkin math, but take a rough guess at roughly how many customers you have in your agency and just write that down. Then write down how much your customers pay you each month. So what is your retainer every month that your client pays you? Then I want you to think truly about what your life is going to look like with this concierge model in place. If you were able to even just go to your clients and say, hey, you know what? Let's just hold the database and the referral partner marketing stuff. I'm not ready for that floodgate yet. I'm just going to take the online leads that we generate and all the other leads that you have in your business from your website and other vendors that you're buying from, and we're just going to double the response rate that you get from your leads. Do you think that you could retain just 20% of your customers for one extra month? I think we can all do that. And it's tough for me because I'm on the other side. I've already experienced it. So I can just come up here and say it's easy to retain 20% of your client base. But that is quite literally a very attainable goal for everybody here on this call. So if you were to do that and take 20% of your client base and just keep them 1 month longer, how much would that be worth to you in your agency? So I've done the math here saying we've got an agency that's got 50 clients. They're charging their clients $1,000 a month for, let's say, SEO and some ads management or whatever that is. If we were to retain just 10 of those clients for an additional 1 month, that'd be an additional $10,000 that we would bring into the agency. Now, the next question, and it's very important they actually do this math because it will open up, again, other opportunities in your agency. But how much extra money would you make if just 20% of your clients bought the concierge? Because I'm about to give you an additional bonus here in just a second, where I give you the exact email and outreach script that we use to go to our existing clients And we sold out our concierge services using this launch. And I'm going to give you this launch so that you can take what I've already built, apply it directly to your agency, and make sales with your existing customers. Again, completely attainable to convert 20% of your customers to this new concierge model. So again, if you've got an agency with 50 clients, you make an additional 10 sales. If we're only selling one package of leads at $750, that's an additional $7,500 every single month in the agency that you've generated as a result there. And then if you think about your sales, if you were to bring in just that concierge to help you with your sales, if you take your sales numbers and say, okay, by having more people show up for consultations and doubling the number of sales presentations that I actually close, would that increase your business by 20%? For us, it doubled our business. But let's just stay on the low side and say 20%. Well, that means for every 5 sales presentations that you do, you're going to generate 1 new extra customer. So for every 5 sales presentations you do, you tack on an additional $1,000 into your agency. And again, selling recurring services every month. So if we take an agency that has 50 clients that's selling something for $1,000 a month, the true value here on this program is about $18,500. So when we look at the $4,997 investment, it makes complete sense to come in, get everything, have us fast track you so that you get the concierge installed in the business, and then a tremendous value every month when you look at the ability to make that. Now, hold on here. For those of you that are here on this call, okay, I'm waiving the $4,997 one-time setup fee, and I'm cutting $500 off of the monthly fee for the first 25 people that decide to join us on the launch here today. So if you go to conciergemastermind.com/launch, you can get started today and get access to everything for just $997. And you're locking in that price for the lifetime of your membership at $997. So when we reopen this program in 6 or 7 weeks, people are going to be charged the $4,997 up front and the $1,497. You will be one of our original members that's locked in at that $997 a month. So for those of you that like the fast track, that want to just get it up, started, and have me walking along the path with you, you can get started today for just $997. So you can scan that QR code to get started. What will happen is it will open up the actual Stripe payment page. You'll see it there for $997. We're using Stripe because it's 100% secure. You don't have to worry about any of that. And it's easy to cancel your subscription through Stripe. It's also easy through us. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you can scan that QR code, or you can go to conciergemastermind.com/launch.
Lewis says done. I just want to chime in for a second here. So this is worth every penny of the $5,000 setup fee. Chris is literally giving you the model that he's used to have $1 million in additional revenue. He's giving you the scripting. He's giving you the process to get this off the ground. The only reason you're not paying the $5,000 right now is because this is a brand new program, right? Chris hadn't created this. He wasn't planning to create it, but when we saw an opportunity in the agency space, he said, okay, I'll create it. So this is going to be created live. So you get the opportunity to participate in him recording this live over the next 5 weeks. So after that, again, just to be clear, it's only for the first 25 people. It's going to be a $5,000 setup and the $1,500 a month. So if you have any inkling of interest in doing this, we wanted to make this a no-brainer. Just give me a 1 in the comments if that makes sense, why the $5,000 fee is not being charged. The other thing, just for those of you that are in my world and already part of 7-figure agency, I wanted to make this part of a 7-figure agency program. Like say, hey, this is amazing what you've built, Chris. I want to offer this to our members. But there's so much more to this whole different side of the business that he runs. It's a whole different ball of wax, right? It's a completely different business model in addition to what we teach at 7-figure. So that's why it's a little bit different. That's why it's on top of what we already do at 7-figure agency. And the reason it's monthly is because just setting this up as a model will only get you so far, right? As you go, you're going to have questions, you're going to need support. Chris and his team are going to support you. But more importantly, you're going to have to hire concierges. You're going to have to train those concierges. You're going to have to hold them accountable to actually do the work day in and day out. And so Chris is actually providing you a mechanism to train, to really hold that team accountable, to keep them in that competitive spirit. And so really, I just, in my mind, as I'm thinking this through, like those would be two things I wanted to know. Like, why is this monthly? Like, it has to be monthly. Like you're going to have to continue to work this process. And it's worth every penny on the front end. So sorry, Chris, I'm going to let you go back to it, but
no, thank you, Josh.
Lewis is in. Awesome, guys. Pumped to have you guys with us. Excited about exponentially growing your business and your results with the clients that you serve.
And so am I. And I put together some bonuses for us because I want you to get results fast. So the first bonus is my concierge launch plan. And this is quite literally, we went back in time to when we launched the concierge to our client list. So we launched to our client list and then all of the leads that hadn't bought something from us previously. And I ran them through an email launch sequence to get them on a sales presentation and then close those sales. And we sold out our initial concierge agent in we didn't actually send all of the emails in the first launch because we sold the program out. And this is the exact campaign that we're going to give you with videos that show you how to actually launch this out. Now, this is already created. It's sitting inside the membership area waiting for you right now. So you can quite literally invest in the program today, log into the membership site tomorrow, and get this launch plan and literally go out and start making sales presentations for the concierge in your business. You just get to swipe it and deploy it. Now, you're going to be booking sales presentations from sending those emails and messages out to your old leads and your past customers. You're going to get those people on a sales presentation. You need to be able to close them. So I'm giving you my sales system. And this is quite literally the sequence that we use to get people to show up to the consultation, the emails and the actual high-level snapshot to get people to show up to the actual consultation. And then I give you the actual document that we use to do our consultative sales presentation. And then I give you the follow-up sequence that people go into after you've delivered the sales presentation to them so that you continually close sales even after the presentation is done. Again, quite literally taken from our standard operating procedures and put into this product so that you can swipe and deploy in your business. So it's how to fill your calendar, how to actually close those sales. And then bonus number 3 is our high-level snapshot, how to actually deliver the program to your clients. So all of the campaigns and the triggers that we've built so that our concierge can deliver the services to our clients, you're quite literally getting access to that snapshot so that you can load it into your high-level account and be up and running right away. Now, we also have these as Google documents. So if you're not a high-level user, you can build it in your own CRM, but I recommend doing it on high level because we do implement everything through high level, the power dialer, the appointment booking service, the campaign sequences and the follow-ups, and it plugs into all of the other marketing that we do for them. So that snapshot, I believe, is invaluable. Again, swipe and deploy right in the agency. So in my opinion, those 3 bonuses, how to book your consults, how to sell your consults, and how to deliver the program, right there is, again, worth the investment in the program today. And those are just the bonuses.
I would say even if all you just got was the snapshot in order to set this up and the logic that Chris is using to underlie and follow up on all these leads for his clients, it's worth it, right?
And all 3 of these are available right now inside the membership area. So you don't have to wait for the first live training of the 5-week program. You can literally get access to these bonuses today. And now I have been working very diligently to put this program together for you. Like Josh said, I think our podcast was only 30-ish days ago from the time that we really kind of opened this up. And as I've been creating it, every single day I get more and more confident about my ability to walk you through this process and get you results. I'm actually more excited about experiencing other niches outside of the mortgage industry implementing this, because from what I've seen in the comments of us doing and releasing the videos, I see greater opportunity in other agencies than I do in my own. But it's just, if you don't understand it and you don't have that blueprint to walk through, it took me 2 years to get to this point of trying things and failing and figuring out a different way to do it. And now it's just, I've been able to clean everything out of it and just make it nice and simple and easy to walk through. So I'm ecstatic to be able to work with you and walk through this process. And I'm so confident about the work that I've put into it that I'm offering a 100% money back guarantee. And the only way for you to make a fully informed decision as to whether this program is right for you is on the inside, not the outside. And that's all I'm asking for, is just for you to make an informed decision. So today, just get in on the inside and see if everything that I've said about the program is truly valuable to you. And then if it is, that's when you decide to keep it, and that's when you decide to continue to be a member. But if you get in on the inside and you feel like it's not for you, that's totally okay. No hard feelings, and that's totally okay. Asking for a refund is simple. And all you got to do is send an email to support@conciergemastermind.com, reach out to me directly. There's lots of different ways to get support within the system, and you just ask for your refund within the first 14 days, totally hassle-free. We give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. We understand that you can't make an informed decision unless you've joined us on the inside. It's the same reason you can't buy a house without walking through it, or you can't buy a car without driving it. So we're giving you 14 days to come in, get the snapshot, watch the videos, go through the training, attend the first 2 live calls. And if you're not 100% thrilled, we'll give you 100% of your money back. So there's absolutely no risk for you to get in today so that we can actually start working together and make sure that it's a good fit for you.
And to be clear on that front, Chris runs a multiple 7-figure agency. He's very successful. He's financially taken care of. I run a multiple 7-figure agency and the 7-figure coaching program. So we're not in the business of taking money without generating results. Like, we want to structure this to be infinite ROI. If you don't see exactly, once you've signed up, how you're going to use this, how it's going to make you a lot more than $1,000 a month, or you try it, it just doesn't work for you for some reason, we are more than happy to give you the money back. Just want to make sure that's super clear. Dustin's in. Awesome, Dustin.
Welcome, Dustin, man. I'm stoked to be working with you. So this has a deadline on it. So we're closing access to this training Friday, June the 3rd at midnight. And that is so that all of us can get together as our mastermind group and start working together through the 5 weeks of training. It's so that I'm 100% available and dedicated to the process of working with everybody, so that we get through the launch program, get you launched and get you results. Because again, we're all marketers here. We all understand how this works, right? It's my job at this point to generate you incredible results so that I can get you to shoot me a video testimonial that says, hey, I went through the Agency Concierge Mastermind program, hired a concierge, and here's the money that I'm making in my agency now. So that when we reopen the program in the future, we can justify the $4,997 upfront fee and the $1,497 a month. So this is just to bring together our original successful case studies, guide everybody through the process so that we can then relaunch the program later. So we're having that deadline so that we can be completely focused on your results, and give a deadline for the price so that we can then raise the price in the future. So
Brittany signed up. Woohoo. Brittany, awesome. Pumped to have you in the program.
Awesome. Right on, Brittany. Now I want to hop into Q&A because that's the fun part for me, and brainstorming about your agency and all of that stuff. But I did bring some testimonials, not from this program, but specifically from clients that have experienced our Agency Concierge program. And I brought this today because I want you to just look into the future and think about what your agency is going to look like when you have testimonials like this for your agency. So this is Diaki. I think we all understand what's happening with interest rates in the mortgage industry right now. Diaki came to us and said, even with rates rising, on our first day of calling with our new executive concierge, which is what we call our concierge agents, We took 6 new mortgage applications and received 2 more referrals, 8 potential mortgage deals in one day, first day of the concierge calling. From Wes, this system helped us dial in our calls to our pre-approved and referring buyers. We picked up 6 new applications in the first 4 days of following the scripts. And then Gene, we closed 6 deals from the applications that we generated within the first 30 days of following the system. So again, none of that dialogue is about, hey, they generated me 50 leads in 30 days. I'm on the front page of Google. Nobody's talking about how many leads I generated for them or what their rankings are, or what their website look like. All of these testimonials are about, I got this client and funded deal as a result of these concierge agents making these calls. And it's a very important shift, because now people view our agency not as, hey, it's a digital marketing company that's going to generate leads for me. This is an agency that's going to produce clients and customers in a measurable way. And just changing that language and having our clients change that language has been incredible. Now, man, I'm such a blessed man. This is one of the things that my wife and I are really big on, and it's you become the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. And boy, I know that to be true, and I've heard wiser people than I say that. And I think that if you're looking to take your agency to the next level, I know my spending time with Josh has dramatically helped increase my life and my agency. And being around Josh and being in his mastermind, that's why I'm there, because I want to grow. And now you have the opportunity to be with 2. And again, I'm a very humble individual. I'm not trying to say this to brag or whatever, but math, I'm great on math, and we are running a multi-7-figure marketing agency with fantastic profit margins. And this is your ability to kind of mastermind with us and all of the other incredible people that you've heard investing in the program today. And we're all going to do this together. And we get to, sometimes I'll talk to my family about what it is that I do, but they really don't get what I do. You know what I mean? And there are lots of people out there that love me and would love to support me, but they just can't support me on that level. I want to have those 5 people that really help me take my business to the next level. And I'm thrilled to be able to have a platform and an opportunity for us to come together and to do that together. So thank you for entrusting me with this opportunity. And for those of you that are on the inside, I can't wait to get started. And for those of you that have questions, let's dig into it.
So good, guys. For those of you that signed up, super excited to unpack this with you. I'm going to be learning as much as you guys are on this process. We're implementing this at Plumbing and HVAC SEO. For those of you in home services, conceptually, the model is going to work. It's going to be a game changer, but it's going to be exciting to roll up our sleeves together and figure this out for a lot of different verticals and really knock it out of the park. Brian France signed up yesterday. Yeah, you were like an early bird, registrant, Brian. So pumped to have you with us. And I think there's lots of really good questions here, and we do want to answer all of them. How do you want to handle that part, Chris? Do you want to try and go backtrack, or do you want to unmute people and let's have conversations, and I'll kind of make sure everything gets answered?
Yeah, let's do that. If we could unmute and have conversations, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's best too. Hey, Rudy, you want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. So
welcome to the Agency Concierge Mastermind, by the way.
Thanks, man. I already am buying the domain concretecoatingconcierge.com. So I am fully bought into this.
I love the speed to implementation there, Rudy. That's epic.
This is I've been thinking about this ever since the first video. Plus, I've been also thinking about an internal salesperson, handling the follow-up for my agency internally. And I know that there's a huge amount of opportunity just on that alone. And so I think this is definitely going to pay for itself. But I'm curious about, again, I can't remember how long it takes for the implementation. Did you say it was about 5 weeks or something?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
And if you go in and check out the bonuses, there's also, for you to just structure your sales presentation and how to get people on those consults, the sales system is ready to go right away. It's just going to take us about 5 weeks to get to the point where you've got a concierge hired and trained and ready to actually deliver the calls.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good.
I think a good question is from Lewis about, would this work in the real estate rate niche? Feels like it might be too long of a buyer journey. Any thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So
In the real estate niche?
yeah. So we work in the mortgage niche, and we are constantly getting referrals of people that are in the real estate industry that want this service, and we won't sell it to them because we made a strategic decision a number of years ago that we were going to stay focused entirely on mortgage. But if you think about the opportunities, especially with the way that the market is right now and calling out to potential listings, there's a tremendous opportunity out there. And if you look at, and so this is a really cool conversation because I know this niche better than some, I would argue. All of those real estate agents that are buying Zillow leads. And I know agents that are spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month on just buying leads from Zillow. They're all trying to figure it out with automations. And there's all kinds of services out there in the real estate market, and countless people that are using high level and white labeling high level to try and solve that problem. Very, very few people have an actual trained person on the phone that can actually book those consults. And in every industry, but specific to real estate agents understand speed to lead. They understand that if you get a lead, if you don't contact that lead within 10 minutes, you've basically burned the opportunity, and your concierge can fill that gap, especially with the automations that you have in high level. So it's incredibly valuable for the, so again, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's known to be true in the real estate industry that 20% of the agents do about 80% of the business, right? And so if you look at that, this immediately positions you perfectly with the top 20% because they've got more leads than they can handle. They don't have a proper system in place for turning those leads into actual sales opportunities for their agents. So when you get an agent that's got 5, 6, 7, 8 agents underneath them, where you can book appointments and fill their calendars, you just solved a massive problem, and you can charge a beautiful premium on that program. I would not be selling that for $750 for 200 calls. You could scale that at a much higher price point. And the other thing that you had mentioned that, and again, I can't get too far into this, but I had a larger national organization that brought me in as a consultant to help solve that problem. And what they discovered is that we pulled the top 20% of the agents in their market. Less than 20% of them actually reached out to their past customers. So if you go into a top tier real estate agent or team and say, we're going to call your past clients and we're going to work all your leads in real time that you're already purchasing that you're not happy with the results on, you get a slam dunk offer.
Yeah, I think in other words, this is found money in that niche. Everybody's selling these guys more leads, how to be better on Zillow. Nobody's selling them how do you work the person that was looking for a home 9 months ago, how do you work the mortgage angle to get referrals. You can really stand out and generate tremendous results.
Absolutely.
I think this is a really good question too. And Chris, amazing answer there, by the way. Don's asking, do you help with the scripts and messages for the niche? Because you've got this figured out for mortgage. Are you how are we going to help in the various niches that everybody can wind up being in?
Yes. That was originally why I decided to include all of our concierge agents in our concierge training call, because I want to be involved in that work. And I think the best way to do that is together. I looked at all different ways to put frameworks together for everybody to follow, but then you're kind of out there on your own trying to figure it out. So we're having that daily concierge call so you can show up and say, hey, here's the script, but this is my niche, and we work together to actually customize the script for that niche. And then the thing that I also love about it is you're going to be getting real-time objections. Like your concierge agent that's on the phone is going to get an objection and not know how to handle it. Their ability to get on the phone the next day and say, I got this objection, how do I handle it? And for all of us to work together on crafting that, and their scripts just get better and better over time, and the results get better and better. So we're there every single day to help you with your scripting and the objection handling.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the most valuable parts of this whole program, right? Is we're going to need to, this is a problem that needs to be solved. We need to hire people to do it. But really the magic of this working is getting good appointment setters, concierges, and getting them trained. and like really training them on a daily basis so they understand how to address those questions and get better over time. So I think that's a great question and a great answer, Chris. Lewis has a question. He says he signed up. He's running a SaaS specifically for solar, so he's not an agency. He's just trying to see if this would make sense in that situation to kind of be, that call center plus maybe the lead follow-up side.
Absolutely. And again, so I have a good buddy of mine, Jimmy, who's in the solar space, who's an agency, and they can generate a ton of leads. And oftentimes the problem that they have is they don't know which leads are good and which leads are just tire kickers. And the concierge model is perfect for that. So it's in that instance, one of the largest benefits that you have is the time saving of, hey, we can generate all of these leads for solar, but you're only going to have sales presentations with the people that are actually qualified, that can actually move forward. So they're like a filter to make sure that only the sales appointments that can close end up on the calendar of the person who's responsible for doing that business.
Yeah. So even if you're not generating the lead, a lot of these guys have lead sources that they've already piped in, and you can really solve a problem without having to get your hands dirty on the lead generation side of the question. I think is the the most direct answer. So let me know if that helps, if that answers.
And I'll add one other thing to that, Josh. We have a program that we call the Lead Reactivator, and it's for cold dead leads. So leads that are 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year old. You take those, put them in, the concierge works those leads. There's lots of opportunity just sitting in that business that you can go back to. And another thing about solar, the greatest way to convince somebody that they should put a solar system in is by a friend telling them, hey, we put in a solar system and you should think about it too. So going out to all of the people that they've done business with previously in order to get 3 friends of theirs that they know that might be a good opportunity for solar may actually end up becoming a more profitable lead generation solution than what they have existing right now.
100%. I hope as you guys are listening to the answers that Chris is giving, that you're not just getting like a training course that you're going to go get. Like your business, your acumen is going to get better getting coaching from Chris and getting this type of thought process. Great question. Great. All right. So Dustin's asking, what about inbound leads? How do I handle incoming leads if the pricing is based on a certain number of calls per month?
So that's a great question, and it's an incredible sales opportunity. So what we do in our agency is we track them because the leads go into campaigns, and then we're tracking the number of the leads that are coming into the campaign. So we know how many leads we're working every month. Plus the concierge agents have a daily tracker. So how many leads came in, how many leads have they worked total. So what we'll do is we'll always overwork the leads. So somebody buys a package for us for 200 calls, and let's say we get to 230. Well, that will trigger off an email that goes out to the account manager, but also the client. It's just like, hey, just wanted to let you know, we've had more inbound leads than we were expecting this month, and we've made some additional calls for you. Would you like us to continue? And that's an opportunity to get them back on the phone with the salesperson and upsell them another package. So and again, that's why it's productized as a package of 200 calls. It's not pay us $750 a month and you get 200 calls. It's you pay us $750 for every 200 calls. So you can actually have them on a biweekly billing cycle if they're generating 200 calls every 2 weeks. And you're technically charging the client $1,500 a month, but they think about it like it's only $750 for every 200 calls. So you get to overproduce for the client and say, hey, those extra 30 calls, don't worry about that. We just love having you as a customer. We're just going to throw that in. But would you like to move forward with the next package of 200? Doesn't matter what day of the month it is. It's based on the usage of the system, which again allows you to scale. So
to be clear, because a lot of the people are thinking about outbound as well as inbound. So to be clear, this can be applied to answering the inbound calls that they have and working the inbound almost like a call center.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'll add to that, Josh, is we had a really good interview with Sean and Chase from High Level the other day. And one of the things that they're really big on is you need to get the chat widget installed on your client's website, and they get notifications, and they'll actually handle the inbound chat requests on your client's website as well, which is a huge value add to the client, because as soon as you say, we're going to put live chat on your Facebook ads and on your website, they go, well, I don't have time to do that. It's like, no problem. Now we have a solution to be able to make that even more valuable of an offer.
And that actually parlays to a question Don asked earlier, and that's how would you calculate the chat? Like, would you count every chat exchange as a call against their 200?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Don, I know you had a bunch of great questions, so maybe it's a good time to actually, before we go to you, Don, there's a question here I want to make sure we answer, and that's Bob, because he asked this earlier. Are you against giving leads the ability to book on Calendly and do their own booking for appointments? I know
that's a great question, and it's tricky. I would go on a client by client basis and ask the client, do you want volume or do you want quality? We can do both, but we need to know what you need from us. And if they say quality, I would not allow leads to self-book through a Calendly link or through the link on High Level. But if they say volume, then yes, absolutely. And I would add that to the text messages and the emails, like, hey, book your one-on-one call. Our agency, we track how many people show up to the appointments after they book, and our no-show rate on the people that self-book is much higher than when we actually book them in with a concierge. So I would do it on a client-by-client basis, knowing that the quality is going to suffer if you let people book their own appointments.
Bob, does that answer the question, or did you have some other follow-up? I just want to make sure we address that for you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, they could also book in, and you could have your concierge call immediately. Hey, we saw you just booked. Want to confirm? Better make sure you get in the schedule. Do you have any questions? Right, and that's going to improve their show up. It's going to improve their close ratio because you created a great experience for the client.
That's a great point.
Love that. Don, I'm going to come to you in one sec here, but Sonny says, are there examples of ads we can use to promote this into our niche?
Yes, there are. I believe that's module number 4, module 3 or module 4, where so on the launch plan that I'm giving you as a bonus, it's here's how to go to your existing customers and fill your calendar. And then in the modulated training, I'm actually showing you the offer that we put into the marketplace and the ads that we run. And I do a lot of video marketing, so we've actually taken a bunch of our video ads and put them in the course so that you can see how we promote the service and generate our own leads.
So good. But he's gonna unpack all of the specific things he's done to sell this, to market it, to deliver it, and to create the experience and the results for the clients. Herman says, "Great work." Many closes to you, Chris. Well done. All right, let's go, Don. You've got a bunch of great questions. Let's unmute Don here and let's unpack this.
All right, let's see if I can remember them all. So let's go back to the chat.
I have them. So I'll delete them as we go.
Okay, so on the chat, if it's counting towards the calls, how is that calculated? Is it calculated automatically, or are we having to go back and trying to track that? Because you'd mentioned something fires off automatically when they hit their 200.
Yeah, so the concierge actually keeps track of that on their daily tracker. So they're manually keeping track of it. But then you also, if there's a campaign inside High Level associated with that particular chat widget, you can then go back and look at the campaign because it applies a tag, and you can just do a tag search and be like, okay, hey, in March, how many live chat submissions did we have? And you can go back and see the total of all the chats.
Okay, and so on that exchange, is it, I mean, obviously there might be, communicating live back and forth. It's not obviously each message that's sent. It's probably just, during that conversation counts as one.
That's right. It's per person essentially that comes through.
Just like a call, right? If you made an outbound call, they can go back and forth 6 or 7 times, but it's just one call, even if the call went 17 minutes.
Yep.
Or the chat went 17 times.
Just to unpack that a little bit further for you, Don, just for clarity for everybody here. If we, let's say we're calling a past customer database. So we've got a program, it's called the Database Activator. We do a phone call on day 1, text on day 2, email on day 3, and then a ringless voicemail we drop on day 4. And so we do that every 90 days for our mortgage clients. So if they give us a database of 200 clients, we make the phone call, 2 days later, they get an email and they respond back to the email. That's still counted as that one call that went out to the client.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm doing okay.
And that's part of, is that reactivation part of the snapshot that we're getting to, or?
Yeah, that database activator campaign is it's the first campaign that you get in the list of campaigns.
All right.
Super powerful stuff. I just want to say real quick, when Chris answered that, I was in my mind thinking that he's going to say, oh, there's some automation that tracks it. But we all know that there's no automation that tracks all of that stuff. So you got to train your concierge, right? He's done this. He's going to make sure you know how to do it correctly. He's not going to give you fluff, because the easy answer would have been, oh yeah, there's some automation, and all your chats are going to get immediately removed from the pool. That doesn't exist, at least right now. So there's a lot of congruence to this. So go ahead, Don.
And I imagine the concierge wants to do a good reporting, because he's probably getting paid bonuses based on that stuff too, as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So on the vetting for the appointments, do they, like, I have a couple clients that we're doing this already for, and they are wanting very specific things to be asked, because they're just wanting to pick from the cream of the crop as far as their appointments and stuff. Do we customize that for each individual client and make sure it's a really vetted, solid appointment, or are we just trying to get stuff onto the appointment calendar?
So another great question. So what we do is we have a standardized vetting process for the mortgage niche on the questions that we'll ask. And I guess there's a slight benefit to us, because we're in a regulated industry. And in order to ask a lot of those qualifying questions, you have to hold a license, and we don't have licensed people. So we say, hey, we can ask for ranges of this stuff, but we can't really dive into it. And so before we had figured out that objection, what I would say to people is, look, have you ever had a client come into your office and they walk in and you just think there's no way this guy's going to get a mortgage? Like you can't say that, but you judge somebody straight up front and say, yeah, I have. And I said, and I don't want you to miss a deal, because my job here is to get you as many deals as possible. So we want to be strict, but not too strict. And if there's a problem moving forward, you just let us know, give us your feedback. But we found that these are the best questions to ask. And if we need to modify them in the future, we can have that discussion. But I want you to have as many opportunities as possible. Let's try this first.
Perfect. Hey, Don, hold on one second there, because I know Shane had a question specific to med spas. The other thing I want to say real quick, for those of you that are on the fence about this, I think you've got the information. You know that this is a legitimate opportunity. You're hearing the way Chris is answering these questions. You're going to get more than just what you're paying for here. You're going to get a lot more value out of this entire experience. The 25, you can see there's a lot of interest in this, just with like 50 of us live. This was kind of an early webinar we're doing with a small group. Once the 25 is filled, the price is going to go, it's going to go up to $1,500 a month. So if you're serious about this, I would lock it in now, because after this replay goes out, there's a bunch of emails that go out. We'll probably be out of the 25 phase here, by the end of the day. So just wanted to say that. Now, on to Shane's question. Shane works with, the question was HIPAA around med spas. I don't know if you want to unmute and clarify the question.
Yeah. Well, I got hearing practices, but just in general, any thoughts, any
audiologists?
I already jumped in, but I just wanted to see, do we need to think about it, in a different way when it comes to a medical niche?
So that's a great question, Shane, and welcome to the program. I'm thrilled to be working with you. I don't think necessarily about a medical niche, but I would want to drill into the niche itself. So if everybody here would grant me just a couple of minutes, and I apologize for my ignorance of the audiologist niche, but is that hearing aids, or what does an audiologist do?
Yeah, hearing aids, best way to say it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, and one of the things, I'm assuming that a lot of that compliance is about the business to the client relationship, but not necessarily in the business to business relationship. And I think that in a business like that, one of our greatest opportunities is finding referral partners that can refer over business. So think about like local health clinics where the person will go in and the doctor will say, you know what, you really need hearing aids. Here's the 3 people that you need to go talk to. That's the same in the mortgage industry. They have to give 3 referral partners. So we've got ways of getting around that. But the way to get those referral partners sending over the business to the audiologist is probably a fantastic thing for us to unpack together.
Okay, cool.
Does that answer the question for you there, Shane?
Yeah.
Pumped to have you in this, by the way. This is going to be great for you guys.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, let's see, Don, let's go back to you. And if you have follow-up questions we haven't answered, we're going to keep going. You know, we're going to keep this open to answer everybody's questions.
So kind of followed up to that referral. I think I asked this. Are we relying on them to give us the list to call for networking partners, or do we have a way to get that list for them, or should we be doing that?
Great question. So yes, it's up to our clients to provide us with the list. What we discovered is that they're bad at doing that. And so the data's bad, the all of that stuff. So what we did was we solved that problem by creating product and offering it to them. And so now what we do is we charge $800 to provide a list of qualified realtors that are in their niche. So it's a bolt-on service where if you don't have the list, that's okay. You can pay us for it. And then what we found was a data provider within the mortgage niche where we signed up for a monthly subscription. We have access to all of the real estate data from across the country, and we just go into their particular niche and pull that data and then produce that for them. So I would imagine that there's probably a similar information broker in your niche. And all we would have to do is find that relationship so that you have the ability to get that data, and doing it in a way where like what we're doing is compliant. They know that we're doing it. We vetted it ahead of time. So just doing it so that we're cool and everybody's all right with it. But finding that data and offering it as a service. Or, I mean, if you just want to be really great with your clients, just tell them, hey, this is where you can go get the data. It's a third-party service. You go get that on your own and then bring it back to me when you're done.
Josh, I would imagine we could use Colytics, right?
Yeah, I would think it would play really nicely for that.
Yeah.
You know, and you can choose to include it as part of the program or charge a premium for it. Hey, we don't have access to the data. We're going to get this data. We're going to make these calls when our concierge has downtime and, you know, fill in gaps.
Perfect.
Good thinking. Hey, real quick, I know you got more, Don, but I want to make sure.
I'm not sure if I do. So
Okay. Great questions. And I love the answers, Chris. You're like right on, right. Super impressed. Julian says, would this be suitable for a company that offers, company that sends SMS reminders to people that book their own appointments, but don't show up, or that had a sales presentation, but didn't buy the first time?
Yep, 100%. And that's, so we don't do this for our clients, but we do it for our agency. So and this is a little bit self-serving. Anybody that books an appointment with me gets a call the day before to confirm that they're actually going to show up on the appointment. So my show up rate on my consults is pretty much 100%. And so that call that goes out ahead of time with the text message, and again, we set ours up so that the phone call is coming from the same phone number that the text message is coming from. And we hit people with what we call the double tap. So if it's an appointment confirmation call, we'll make the call. If they don't pick up, we'll call them back again. We find that we get a much higher pickup rate, and the script is super simple. Hey, it's Chris. I don't want to take your time. I know you're super busy, which is why I'm confirming the appointment for tomorrow with XYZ at date time. Can you make it? Yes. Is there anything that you need ahead of time in order to be prepared for the meeting? We've already sent you all the information. Do you have it? Yes. Good. See you on the appointment, and they're done. So it's very valuable, and that's something where you will be able to show a measurable result to whoever the client is in here's how many people were showing up on the consult previously, and here's how many people are showing up now, because you will increase that show up rate. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's par for the course. Exactly what we want. Exactly what we want to cover. Hey, let's unmute Dustin, because I know, Dustin, you've had a couple of questions. I know you're in, so let's make sure we get these for you.
Yeah, I'll read it back. I had a couple of questions. I'll just try to be quick. So with the inbound leads, this is what we're doing. We're generating a lot of inbound leads typically, which is where I'd start. If we have, let's just say we have 3 or 4 clients that have busy times of the day. They all share a concierge, but you can't hand over leads in real time for 4 different businesses, I don't think, unless you're Superman. Is there any way to get around that without having to hire another full-time guy, but just to handle overflows? I could see where you'd have maybe too much labor and not enough to keep that person busy just to account for those busy times.
Yeah, that's a great question, Dustin. And we've experienced something similar. So what I did when I was first scaling, now we're at the point now where we've got lots of staff. We're over 20 right now. So what I started doing was hiring part-time. And so I was able to bring somebody in local that only worked during those hours of the day. So I wasn't on the hook for the full hiring of that person, but it was like, look, you're going to come in, you're going to work from noon to 4 because that's when our busy time is. Make sure that you're delivering it to the client. And then you're only on the hook for those busy times when you know they're going to be necessary.
Okay, I wasn't sure if part-time was an option. And then for like the hours that they work, is it typically just certain business hours? You tell the client, hey, they're going to call during these hours, or is there for like the after hours leads that come in, do you just deal with them the next day? Is that typically how it goes?
Yep. So after hours leads, there's automations that will trickle on them with the emails and the text messages. And then they start, our typical concierge works from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. And they're working leads in real time during that block of time. And the client knows that and understands that. And then as soon as they come in at 10 a.m., they work through all the leads that came in over, and then they start on their list.
Okay. And then in terms of the SMS thing, like, I'm just kind of curious because with phone calls, I know like I never answer the phone if I don't know the number. I don't. So I'm kind of curious, like, do you guys pre-text like, hey, this is whatever? I mean, do you guys do anything to make sure that your answer rate is higher? I could see where you could not connect with a lot of people just because of the medium being phone. Not there's anything wrong with the phone, but you know.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm the same as you. Like I will not take a phone. Like I've got 4 people in my phone, and well, with Josh, I now have 5.
I got added to the list.
And so, so what we've discovered is that it's a game of numbers and math. So the way that it breaks down, for every 100 phone calls that a concierge makes, they'll connect with anywhere between 15 and 20% of the people that they're calling. So they'll speak to 15 to 20 people. And then they should book about 25% of the people that they speak to an actual appointment. So those are kind of the numbers that we work with on the concierge on a daily basis. And that gets us to our 5 to 10 appointments a day. But what we've discovered is that if we call before a text message goes out, we get a higher response rate on the text messages that come back. So we get a bump on the text messaging, and it's the law of numbers. We'll never get 100% of the people to pick up the phone, but we know if we can get 15%, at least in the mortgage industry, we can produce more appointments in a day than they can handle. So we're still okay.
So the call, so then that 25% or whatever, 15% is both the call that you did originally plus the text that went out after that they responded to. Is that a blended number? Is that kind of where you're coming at that from?
No, so that is the number on the calls that connect, that they actually turn into appointments.
Oh, wow. So that's that plus the text then.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. Cool.
So is that part of the snapshot process, or the process would be call, send text? Is that automatic? Is it something they manually type out?
So the process is different for an inbound lead and an outbound lead. So if it's outbound, we almost always start with the phone call, and we use the power dialer inside high level to trigger the phone calls. And then every time they make a call, that gives them that little screen where they can choose the 4 different options. And if they choose anything other than connected with the client, it puts them into the automation and then does the automation trigger of sending the text message and the emails and everything to the client. But if they do connect with them, it takes them out of the sequence, and the concierge will manually do whatever needs to be done with that lead.
Did that answer the question, Dustin?
Perfect.
Are you clear on the inbound versus outbound stuff? Because I know that there was a couple questions you had on that front.
Yeah, I was clear. I mean, that was what I was trying to wrap my head around, because I have people that do this for some of our clients that are not me, and they were
like, that should be my money, right?
What's that?
That should be that money flow should be coming to you, right? Not this.
Well, I mean, she's a friend, so no, I wouldn't do that. But I see what she deals with, and like I'm like, hey, can we follow up faster? And it's like, well, we're overflowed. I'm like, well, I don't want to take that role on and end up with the same problem. That's why the model makes perfect sense. I was just kind of curious how we're working around those things. So.
Yeah, there's a question here from Jonathan Bannister, which, welcome, Jonathan. Glad to have you in this program as well. Can the appointment centers work from home, or does an office need to be set up for this?
Oh, great question. So everybody works from home. Everybody is remote. One of the interviewing questions is, do you have a quiet place to work? I interview all my people over Zoom so I can see, do they dress for success? What type of environment are they in? Are there dogs in the background? That sort of thing. So they all have a very quiet professional background. Yeah.
Cool. So it could be from home. You don't need to go rent an office and put a center in place for this. So that answers that. I think he also had a question on like how you get the concierge to understand the client's service well enough to talk their language.
Scripting is the answer to that. Yeah, 100% that's done via script. That's how we're able to get people on the phone in the mortgage industry in less than 14 days. It's 100% script. It's memorization, repetition, and just working those scripts. And then when they get the oddball, objection or whatever it is, there's a standard script for like how to get out of a conversation if you don't know the answer to the question. Like, hey, I'll find the answer to you and I'll get back. And so that gets them out. Then they show up on the call, get the objection, learn, and that's how we teach them and make them better over time.
And that's part of the value proposition here is that training call with the concierges and helping them think this part through. Is part of what Chris is bringing to the table, right, Chris?
Yes, absolutely. And it's so much fun to be on those calls. For me personally, to work through that and to see the daily numbers every day is, it's something that I'd never done before. And I really enjoy it. So it's a ton of fun to be on those calls.
Amazing. So another question here from Don is, the concierges, are they employees of your company or are they 1099 contractors, or how do you structure that?
So that's a great question. So most of our concierge agents are subcontractors. It's beneficial for them. It's beneficial for us. And we've got subcontractors now from all over the place. So Connection Incorporated, we employ people in Florida. We employ people in California, all subcontractors for all of our US based people. And then a lot of our people are from the greater Toronto area, which is around where I am in the summer months. And I would say 75 to 80% of them are employees, just because of Ontario law. And then the other ones, which kind of fill in, are still subcontractors.
That help, Don?
Our subcontractor agreement is included in the program. So I paid a lawyer to actually like draft up our agreement that goes along with them, and you get access to that in the program. And then obviously please modify it with, and have your own people run through it, but it saves you, hours and hours of a lawyer's time in order to actually put that together. And the other thing that I discovered that I added to it that I found was really interesting is we put the actual daily responsibilities and goals and metrics in the contract agreement. So we say you must make a minimum of 100 calls a day. You must make a minimum of 15 contacts. You must make a minimum of 5 appointments a day. If you don't, that negates this agreement and we're able to end this partnership. So it's a 100% performance agreement, which gets everybody on point. And I don't want to go too far into the hiring thing, but I just want to share this for everybody on the call. If you interview somebody and you ask them the question, how many appointments do you book per day? Because all of these people should already have experience appointment booking. That's part of what makes it work. We're hiring experts that already know how to do the job. If they tell you that they book 2 appointments a day, they will book 2 appointments a day. If they tell you that they book 10 appointments a day, they will book 10 appointments a day. You can give those 2 different people, same list, same script, same everything, and they'll get 2 totally different results based on what they believe that they're capable of. So when you're hiring somebody, having them commit upfront and actually sign a document that commits them to, I'm going to book 5 appointments a day, and they believe and they know that they can book 5 appointments a day, you'll actually end up generating the result.
So good. You can tell Chris has done this a couple of times, and this isn't just like theoretical for him. I mean, I see Christian and Opera both signed up. Pumped to have you guys with us. Excited to do this. Let's see. Any other follow-up questions? I'm going to say, if you haven't registered yet and you're still with us at this point in the game, now's your time, right? You know that this is going to be profitable. It's a zero loss proposition, right? I mean, dive into the snapshot, dive into the training, get access to Chris's genius on this. you're going to make money. And if you don't, we don't want to take the $997 from you, right? We'll gladly refund you the money. So this really is a no risk proposition. Go sign up. Again, the reason we're waiving the $5,000 and the reason we're going to just $997, you can see there's lots of interest for this, even in this small hub, is because Chris is going to be building this with you over the next 5 weeks. So once it's built and we get all of you guys to give testimonials on how great it is and the results that you're getting, everyone else is going to be paying $5,000 up front because it's worth it with what you're getting. So if you haven't registered now, like now's your time. Go click the link, enter your credit card details, get plugged in, and let's keep answering other questions if you guys have them. All right, so Brian, I saw Brian's come up first, but we'll get to all of these. If you're making calls, if you're making 100 calls a day, they burn up 750 in 2 days. Can you unmute for a sec, Brian, and we can talk through that, just so we understand the question?
Yeah, very simple. If you're charging $750 a month for 200 phone calls, and you're calling 100 people a day, I mean, that would mean they'd burn up in 2 days. Your $750 would be matched, and if you're only reaching 15% of those, that's 30 people. I mean, are they done for the month? I mean, or do you? I mean, that seems like that'd go real quick.
That's the beauty of it. Really good question. So what we do is at the front, we say, how many leads are you generating each month? Like when we're in the sales process, we're discovering how many leads they generate each month, how many past clients they have, how many referral partners they want us to call. And then we're just based on the package, it's like, okay, well, you need 800 calls or you need 1,000 calls, and here's the price for that. And then the concierge agent knows, here's how many calls per month, and then they spread that over 30 days. So when a concierge sits down at the beginning of the day, they know, okay, I'm working 5 different clients today. Bob's going to get 30 calls, Jane's going to get 25 calls, and Larry's going to get the remainder of the calls that I have that day. But we're working with our concierge agents to make sure that they're making the 100 and 150 calls, but they could be calling for 3 or 4 different clients in any given day.
Right. So if you'd have to have multiple clients to hit that, this program to hit that metric, because what I was thinking, like we work in the lipo industry and we generate between, 3 to 10 leads a day, per client. So if you'd have, that they'd be sitting around, after, pretty much all day, for only making those 10 calls, unless we called the past clients and the referrals, that would equal additional calls for the day.
Yes. So from a liposuction perspective, and it would be good for me to speak to somebody in that industry or for you to interview some of your most successful clients on what the past client outreach looks like for that. Because for the dentist, we came up with like a great reason to reach out is, hey, we're offering 25% off teeth whitening this month. So they have a reason to call them, and then they say, oh, by the way, I noticed you haven't left us a 5-star review. Would you leave us a 5-star review on Google? And do you know anybody that could use our dental services? I think liposuction might be a little bit more of a sensitive topic on, I don't know, maybe they do get referrals. It's
it's not just lipo. So that's the great thing. Like we actually have 3 med spas ourselves. So my idea behind it was that we can contact everyone who's done a mini lip plump or a facial and let them know about our new lipo service. So even with our med spa clients, it's okay, what database do you have? Who can we contact and say, hey, we've got this new service. If you're interested, here's $1,000 off for being a good customer. Sell them on that. Like, it's not like we have like 8 different services, right? So we got like just our Tempe location, we got 6,000 people in our database that came in through, over the last couple of years. So if we had this concierge put in place, not only the new leads that were coming in, have people raising their hand off Facebook and Instagram, but following up with the old leads, and then maybe doing some referral JV partners with some of the other clinics that don't provide this service, is the way I see it.
100%.
I'm sorry, did you say 6,000 past customers?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, we've been in business for 3 years. So our database is just in our Tempe location. We have 2 other locations we just opened up in the last year. That's like our med spas. Now, I also sell this marketing service to all the other med spas in the US. And then we got a JV partner with the manufacturer that makes the lipo equipment. And they're suggesting us to every single one of their med spas because it's a business in a box. We generate the leads. They spend 200 grand on the system. Now it's done, washed,
Amazing. So calls to other med spas to book sales appointments for the lipo equipment, hands down, slam dunk.
Yeah.
But so I've got a friend of mine who's a chiropractor, and so we went to him and he put together an offer for orthotics because we sat down with him. I was telling him what we were doing in the mortgage industry. And I said, what else could you sell to people that come in and get your service? And so he decided to sell orthotics. Well, orthotics are sold through insurance. So people can literally come in and get orthotic services from him for free. And it makes sense for the chiropractor to be saying, hey, you need orthotics to fix your stuff. So, I mean, what they did was they reached out to their past customer database and they sold like 24 or 26, don't quote me on these numbers because I understand this, but they did somewhere around $25,000 in orthotic sales in less than 3 weeks, just by calling the people that they had previously done treatments with, offering this secondary service. So if you've got all these other services in the med spas that you can call people with, give them a discount on it while you're asking them for a 5-star review on Google, just that in itself is going to get you more than enough call volume in order to be able to fill that concierge, no problem.
Exactly. Because every sale that we do in lipo is between $5,000 and $10,000. So, I mean, it's high ticket, and we offer financing. So, it's a great product.
Slam dunk.
Yeah. So past customers and referral partners, I think both of those avenues. I mean, I think very quickly you're going to have 2 or 3 concierge up and running full time.
Brilliant. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Pumped to have you on board. Hey, Lewis has got a question. I think it's pretty good. He says, how would you get the concierge to call a lead within 5 minutes of the lead being generated? That speed to lead conversation.
Yep. So that's done through notifications. And again, everything done through high level. So a lead comes in, the trigger sends the text message to the actual concierge agent themselves, and they respond back on the text message. So they know they're in real time. So our dialers are working the power dialers. And as soon as an inbound lead comes in, they pause the power dialer and work the lead in real time.
And so they know like priority is always the inbound deal that's in play. And, as you're not doing inbound, then you're outbounding to the past customers, the referral partners, and the other opportunities.
That's right.
Love it. Great question. Who else has questions? This has been great. I mean, I can already tell a couple of things. This is going to be a great group of higher level agencies in here. Like this isn't a newbie thing, right? You have to have had clients, understood the churn, understood the market dynamic right now that everybody can do website SEO, pay-per-click, social media, Facebook ads, but this gives you a unique differentiator, which takes you to the next level, not just being a lead generation service, but a service that actually generates tangible, measurable results for your clients. And this concierge being the bridge to kind of take you to the next level. So first of all, kudos for being part of this. I think I'm excited to learn from Chris, to implement this in our agency, and to spend more time with the rest of you guys at this high level working this out. And the second thing is you're going to get a lot more than just, how do I sell concierge or put a concierge in my business, right? This is going to be like a much higher level outcome than any of you guys are expecting. All right, Dustin, let's hear it.
Sorry, I had me unmute. So you just mentioned like when we have incoming and then we have obviously the outbound that we're making and some referrals from our clients. Do you talk about a way to organize the list of all these different people so we know how many we're hitting in each bucket, or is there like a process for that as well?
So, so 2 things. One is pipelines inside high level. So everybody gets their own pipeline so that we can track the results, but also keep everybody organized in the pipeline. And then the campaigns themselves. So everybody's going into a campaign and making sure that they're going through an actual sequence. But inside the campaigns, we have the campaigns are assigned to the dialer. So we can set, hey, when it gets to day 4, the dialer gets a reminder inside their high level account that they need to reach out to that lead that day. And so that's how we're keeping it all organized, just through the actual pipelines and the actual campaigns themselves.
Okay, so you're using the tasks inside high level then for some of this as well?
Correct.
Okay, interesting. All right, thank you.
No problem.
How much? So I think a good question for everybody is like, theoretically, this makes sense, right? And we get the model. There's lots of moving parts. How do we hire the people? How do we train the people? How do we hold them accountable? How do we set up the tech stack? How much will your team be able to help with the structure of the high level snapshot? Like when we thought this was going to trigger this and it didn't work right. Like how much? I know there's a fine line there. You guys don't want to go full tech support high level, but like how much support on that front can you guys give?
Yeah, so that's why we have the daily calls. So they're there for the concierge, but they can come in, they can ask questions about scripting, but they can also ask questions about high level. So it's very, common that somebody will come in and be like, hey, I need this to do this. And we just like screen share and walk them through it on the call. We've got 3 or 4 team members on the team that are just really good at high level. So anything that can't be handled in a 5 or 10 minute conversation on the actual call itself, then they just get with you after the call and help you out. That's, that wasn't built into the program, but obviously if you need help with something, our team already knows how to do it. So we may as well just help you do it in your account.
Good stuff. Anybody have any other questions or thoughts? Questions or thoughts as we kind of come to the close here? Lewis, I don't know if this was already answered, had to step away. Actually, this is a good question. Is the customer paying for high level in addition to this, or would this be included with that? I think you could probably decide on your own, but Chris, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so we bundle it together and we include the software as part of the program. And we do that because it's sticky. We do it because we don't want any objections to using our CRM, because a lot of people in the mortgage industry already have their own CRM. So we're like, hey, you're going to use ours. Don't worry, we're not going to charge for it. It's just built into the price. But we're going to use our system in order to maintain all of this stuff. And then the other thing that it gives us, and we originally started doing it on Facebook ads and Google ads because they would cancel the ads management, but they would keep the CRM. So we would still keep monthly recurring revenue on the back end of it. And so there's a little bit of that as well. So all of their contacts go into the system and it just helps keep the client sticky. So it's definitely worth, for us, we feel, giving it away up front.
Louis, do you want to unmute maybe and just talk through that second question about, is the concierge working in the customer's GHL?
Yeah, so basically you mentioned a little bit ago that the way that the concierge would work around things and work the different sequences is by pipelines and campaigns. So my question was, is everything going into one sub location for them to work out of, or are they going to be switching locations so that they work on the customer's pipeline and the sub location?
Great question. So we work in the sub location of the client's account.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to just try to understand.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
definitely. Don, do you want to unmute Don and ask your question?
Yeah, I just was kind of just thinking through this. I know some of my clients actually purchase lists from their own, wherever they get them from. I know it's not a good thing just to have all cold calls because it'll burn out our concierge, but can we mix in cold lists for them to be calling on too?
Yeah, for sure. All of our real estate lists, they're qualified, so we know how much business the realtors are doing, but those are cold calls out to real estate agents. So yeah.
Yeah, that's for the networking partners, but what about for actually just like the actual business?
We don't do that. And any opportunity that I run into, I do the math. And it's like, hey, you know what? You want us to do that? Let's make sure it's compliant, and then let's try it for 30, 60 days. I can't guarantee whether this is going to work or not because I'm not in control of the data, but you and I are going to agree that you like the scripts and I like the scripts, and I'm going to put the person on the phone. This may or may not work. Are you willing to move forward with that arrangement? And then if it works, great. You've got an additional product to sell. If it doesn't, you've been upfront with the client and let them know this may or may not work, but here's what I'm recommending as a consultant that you do. If you want to do this thing over here, yeah, sure, we'll give it a shot and see how it works.
Okay.
Does that help, Don?
Yeah, because I just have some clients that are B2B, and so they are reaching out to medical doctors and practices. So they come up with lists through associations and stuff, a lot of the stuff that we do. And so I was just trying to think if I could mix in some cold emails or cold calls for them.
Oh, so for that, yeah, totally. Because those aren't consumers. Those are
Right.
business to business calls. And yeah, hands down, I don't see a problem with that at all. And making those business to business calls are great. You know, a little bit of gatekeeper stuff and that sort of thing, but that's yeah, no problem running that. And I think you'd see good success from that.
Thanks.
Right.
Good stuff. I think we've answered all the questions. If you have another questions, put like a capital Q or unmute and stop us. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like, I think we've got still like a bunch of you guys on here live. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for jumping in. Really excited to have you guys on board. Chris, thanks for building this. You know, at the end of the day, this could have been yours to hold to yourself and be like, hey, I've created this great thing and just keep it. You saw that there is a need, there's an opportunity. I love your passion for this and the fact that you know this stuff inside and out and you want to share it and you know that it's going to have a huge impact on the people that you work with. And I'm just excited about seeing this roll out. I'm excited about seeing the impact for the agencies that jump into this. And anything you want to say in closing? Rudy says this was gold. So the branding on everything Chris does is gold. And so he matches his brand.
Right on. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just honored to be walking down the path with each of you. And there's nothing that you can't ask, and there's nothing behind the curtain. It's my goal and my job, my responsibility to walk with you through this process and make you successful with it. So I can't guarantee that it's going to be perfect, but I guarantee I'm going to give you 100% of what I got, and we're going to make this work together. So I'm super looking forward to working with everybody, and let's rock this thing. Let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Chris. For those of you that didn't get the email yet, Chris's team is going to go in and make sure that you all get your access details. You get added to the Facebook group. You know exactly when these next sessions are going to happen. You've got access to me anytime, so feel free to send me a personal message or shoot me an email. And then, Chris, what's the best way to reach you?
So my personal email is chris@connectionincorporated.com. And right now we also have support@conciergemastermind.com. So that's support@conciergemastermind.com. We've got a ticketing system all set up. So our team is ready to answer any questions that you have through that support ticketing system. Going through support@conciergemastermind.com is going to get you a faster response. But if you need something directly from me, it's chris@connectionincorporated.com.
So good. Well, if you know anything about me and Chris, you know that we love to over deliver. And so we're excited about over delivering on this and bringing a whole new model to the agency space. Dustin, did you raise your hand with the question? No, you were like kind of saying bye. All right. Awesome. Good deal. Thanks, everybody. Have an amazing afternoon. We'll get you into the Facebook group ASAP and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.